What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 3 of the ACR Game Plan. I'm Matt, and I'm your host today with my good friend Flo. How are you doing today, Flo?
Hi, I'm fine. Hope you're doing good as well.
Yeah, man. And here we are in the Bangkok Tour, and pretty fun tour. I hope you're having as much fun as me with these new courses, Flo.
Yes, definitely. I enjoy them.
Awesome, man. Yeah, the beautiful. You got the sun. I love. I don't know about you, man, but I love good Thai food. So, what's your favorite Thai? What's your favorite Thai food?
To be honest, I don't think we have a Thai right around the corner, but I definitely ate some Thai food. But I would have to lie now if I had to name exactly one, and then maybe it's not even Thai food. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
will leave that to you.
it's probably westernized Thai food, but I love a good whether it's like a nice Penang curry or pad Thai or anything like that. Something with lots of cashew nuts or peanuts or something. Just gotta love it, man. So yeah, here we are on the Bangkok tour. ACR is a very interesting kettle of fish or situation this tour, and we've got something pretty exciting going on. Our very own Flo is going for top 100 for the first time. How does it feel, Flo? How are you feeling about this top 100 push?
Yeah, so I'm really feeling excited. I didn't start with the grind yet, but we'll see now because that has to do with some other deadlines that were 2 days ago, and then yesterday I did also another trip. So now when we recorded, it's Sunday, so there are 10 more days to go. I will definitely start grinding today to catch a little bit up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I planned it since a couple of months when will be the tour to go for it. And yeah, we will discuss that further, why this is the best tour for me to go for ACR Top
Excellent,
100.
man. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to get something really interesting out of this episode because we're going to be talking about what you're looking for in a tour and what you're looking for in terms of coverage and different things which make you go for ACR. I know for me, this tour, I've been analyzing and looking at it for my account too. When I heard you, Flo, were going for top 100, I decided, and I saw the amount of, actually the main thing was the amount of resources that are getting thrown at us, the token shop, the all the different tickets, and actually now I have some resources on this account. I was thinking, man, maybe I can make a run at it. And so I've done some analysis, and I can let everyone know that maybe I'm going for a top 100 run, maybe not, but it just depends on a few things, and we'll dive into that a little bit further as we go. So tell me, Flo, what do you love so much about ACR that would make you crazy enough to spend all of these hours grinding out for top 100, man? What is it about ACR you love?
Yeah, I think I just enjoy the tracks and getting good runs. So of course, boomboxing maybe is the thing that you really enjoy. If you get one boombox and maybe you're lucky enough to get a second one. I remember that I had a few races like that where I was not really aiming for it, but I just thought, oh no, I cannot catch up the first coin box, so let's just stay behind it. And then if you're lucky enough, you just get the second boomerang frenzy and
Nice.
collect that. So that's definitely a thing. And then also just yeah, filling out the sheets, see how your scores improve. And then of course I did of course ACR top 1000 a couple of times. So I'm really excited to now go to the next step because I was getting closer and closer to top 100, and now it's finally time to invest the last tickets to make this push to jump from top 200 to top 100, which is really a gap because there's no top 200 batches. Nobody's aiming for that in particular, but yeah, there are some also nice statistic from Rashid where you can really see that the curve is like this, top 100, and then it drops further because most people are aware of the projections.
Well, good luck to you, man. It's a very exciting time, and I would say good luck. May the frenzies be in your favor. It's definitely going to be a challenge when it comes to that grind. But all I would say is good luck with cheap Lagoon RA. I absolutely hate that course. I've been grinding that for days now. I haven't got anything, but yeah, enough on that, but let's not talk about Cheap Lagoon. But yeah, all the best to you, man. And I really hope that the grind goes well for you and you have a lot of fun as well. All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Let's get into it. So today's episode, just to go over what we're going to be covering off. First up, we have a winner for the account giveaway for the free-to-play account, which for those who might have missed the previous episodes, I've got a free-to-play account. I've been gifted another account, so I'm actually giving away an account that's about 18 months old. It's got some good items on it, and it needs some love. It needs some gold pass. It needs some investments, and it will be a great account in the future. So this is a giveaway that I wanted to give to someone who is maybe newer to the game or brand new to the game, to give them a boost so that they can really do well in the game in the future. So we'll cover that off first. Then we're going to go over our previous ACR results from the Metro Tour. And that was a very fun tour. So it'll be interesting to reflect on where our scores landed. And we'll see, did Flo beat me or did I beat Flo? We'll see in a minute. And then we've got a new section that we want to add into the ACR game plan, which is the resource highlight. So every week or every tour, we want to talk about a resource in the community that is useful for ACR. And today we're going to be talking about the new ACR Bot, which has been created across Discord servers, an amazing tool. We're even going to use some of the images from it in the discussion today. We're going to be talking about the new courses, the plus skill driver buffs, the ACR projections, the plus skill distribution for the Bangkok Tour in terms of Coinbox, Boomerang, Lucky 7, Giant Banana, all that good stuff. Then we're going to go through our tour hot list, which is our list of the items which are showing up a lot in ranked and a lot in ACR in this specific tour. What's hot this tour? What might make sense to invest into if you are going for ACR this tour? Then we're going to talk about the ticket time algorithm. We're going to talk about the items that Ticket Time is recommending upgrades for our accounts and maybe for your account too. And then we're going to go through Flo and my ACR game plan. And that's where it's going to get really interesting, where we look at Flo's top 100 run. So let's get stuck into it. The Flo, free-to-play account giveaway. And just want to say, congratulations to Charles 1987. Well done. You have won the account giveaway. And I wanted to make a special shout out to his friend, Mr. X, who also follows us on YouTube already, as the Nintendo Freaks. Love the account name, dude. But just want to say thank you for being a supporter of the channel, and thank you for thinking of your friend and reaching out for this giveaway. So reach out to me on Discord, Charles or Mr. X. I'm happy to deal with either of you, and we can sort out that account giveaway. Alrighty, now we're going to get into the Metro Tour ACR results. And Flo, congratulations on 224th place, sitting in that top 250. Tell us all about your Metro Tour. How did you enjoy it? What were your goals? Yeah, talk to us, man.
Yeah, so the main goals of the Metropolitan Tour was probably also for a lot of us to grind some experience points and experience levels on the different tracks. So we had 2 new sets, which is incredible. Berlin Byways and then Amsterdam Drift 2. So that's a lot of stuff. And then we had also some other tracks that at least I haven't seen before. Paris Promenade 2RT, London Loop 2RT. I think I have not seen that before. And then Berlin Byways 2RT was also the time before I started XP grinding. So this was also some tasks to do if you want to continuously grow your account. And then of course I also did some grinding over there. As you can see, I think there are 4 second place finishes. So I was really not optimizing the runs on every single track, but
that's not gonna work this tour, is it?
No, definitely not.
Oh
No
man,
chance.
yeah, I hate those ones because they're such great runs, and then you don't get the first place. Tell me, what player level are you now?
I'm player level, I think 254.
Wow,
so yeah,
dude, that's amazing.
So I think that's 252, and then I think I can make 3 more this tour because I was close to the next one. I finished one and then the next level as well. And then the third one should be possible right now. So 255 or even 256. I'm not completely sure right now. But yeah, since we have 4 new Bangkok tracks, that's enough for 2 levels plus a little bit. And the little bit is enough to boost me to the next level. So
amazing stuff, man. I thought I wouldn't bother too much anymore, but I'm only at play level 206. So maybe I need to sort myself out.
yeah, to be honest, it's not that important after player level 200, but I just thought, okay, it would be nice to have the 300 at some point there, and then you really have to collect at least the city tracks, because the other tracks return, but the city tracks, you never know when they will return, if they will return, and so it should be done in exactly the 2 if you want to finish the XP there.
Nice, man. Hey, was there any run that you were super proud of, or you thought was like a crazy lucky run on the Metro Tour?
So as you can see, there's one run where I even have a negative gain, which is the very last one, Berlin Byways 2T. And this one was completely surprising because it was the second try. And I just started with a bomb frenzy, and it was nice because then there are the other bots around and you can hit a couple of ones. And then I was really somewhere in the mid of the field, and there was just one coin box and coin box frenzy coming after the other. I did not catch that many, or I think I collected enough coins. There would have been even more possible, and especially if I knew the lines better, because as I mentioned, it was the second try on that track. Berlin Byways was back after, I think, 1.5 years, so I have no clue where I was going, and just trying to collect the extra box, and that's it. So a messy run, but it was 100% actually counts, so, and was pretty nice score. Another 50k lead. I think the only one in this tour.
And, yeah, even if the lines aren't perfect, there's no way you're going back in, right? Because there's, when the frenzy luck is that good, and you get the boxes as well, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, that's a great run. And 224th, where did Matt land? 225th. Oh, this is pretty hilarious. But we're literally neighbors on the ACR placements. I think you realized this, but I didn't realize this, so I cracked up when I saw it. Pretty similar to you. I was not grinding hard, very hard at all. I was mostly just finishing races and trying to get experience, and yeah, just having some fun. So you'll see the amount of races with still 10k or more on it is pretty embarrassing. So this is not how your DKR should look. Also, you can see I wasn't even tracking each run. So I actually added the scores at the end just to see what the gain was, to then increase the courses with the most gain on it. So that was the only reason I used the DKR spreadsheet last tour. I wasn't even trying. So I was pretty stoked to then get in the top 250. Really, it was a test of what Josh's account strength is, so that I could see kind of how hard I'd have to grind to get higher. So certainly it was quite surprising how high I did get, with only 81% scoring. So yeah, massive potential on this account. And I think that a top 100 run is definitely possible. And that was the key learning I think I made last tour. Yeah, I can't remember pretty much almost any runs last tour. So we could skip on that, talking about that. Right up. So next up, we're going to talk about a highlight of a resource within the community. And we've got a really cool one today that's brand new. And a massive shout out to Heriosity and to the developer Jimmy for the creation of this tool. It's a really great solution to a challenge that we have in our community, which is that a few things, finding course information at your fingertips, what the top shelf items are, trying to hunt down a spreadsheet or see everything in one place. That can be hard. So you see in this bottom corner here, we've got one of the commands that you can use this bot in your server, or there's actually an ACR bot server, which you'll see the link. I've put that link right up here. So feel free to screenshot that, or I'll chuck it in the chat in the description in the video. But you can see you use this command and you can actually see the track information, which is really cool. You can see what the plus skills are, you can see the base action count, and you can see all the top shelf drivers, karts, and gliders. Right here in this image, you can see the different commands that you can actually do with the tool. Using /ACR will actually give you the top 10, 100, and 1000 cutoffs for the current tour. You can, the other one I was just discussing was /tour info. Sorry, that was track info. Tour info will give you more information about the actual tour itself. And then I think the other really interesting ones are the world record commands. These are really cool because one challenge we've had with world records is how do we centralize that and make sure it doesn't have to just go through one person. So this bot allows you to submit from your server a world record, and then they will receive that in their server and accept that with a screenshot or proof of that. So it's a really great tool for that. There's a picture here of the ACR projections that it produces, and then here I've just put in the command world record, or WR cheap lagoon, and then it shows you the track, the action count, who the player was, and when it was achieved. So you can see in New Year's 2021, the player Nevermind got 158 actions on cheap lagoon, which is why I hate this course. It's terrible. But did you want to add anything, Flo? What did you think of this bot when it started appearing in these servers?
Yeah, it's amazing. I was really hyped when I saw this ACR bots on different servers, and I think I never tried it yet, but of course I have seen all the screenshots other people did, and I'm aware of the different commands. So it will definitely help if you are looking at some particular tracks and want to check out the loadouts. So for me in particular, interesting is the track info, and then of course the world record stuff is also some nice to have if you're aiming for something like that.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, so maybe you get a nice run and then you put in the command and figure out if it was a world record or how far away you were, and how hard you have to keep running. So now we're going to look at the new courses in the Bangkok Tour, and straight away we get to use this ACR bot in practice. So here's what you can do. You put in the command, you say, /track info, Bangkok Rush, and it will give you this image. And straight away what you'll see, and I'll just go to the next slide to illustrate this further. What you'll see immediately is, look at all these plus skills. This is crazy. So Bangkok Rush has Giant Banana, Lucky 7, and Coin Box. Bangkok Rush R has Giant Banana and Coin Box. Bangkok Rush T has Lucky 7, Boomerang, and Coin Box. And then Bangkok Rush RT has Giant Banana and Coin Box. So it's a really interesting shake up to the meta. There almost is no track which is an exclusive, plus skill track in the new tracks that are coming out anymore. They all have these overlaps. So it's very interesting. With Bangkok Rush, we've got the new Daisy Thai dress, who, Flo, I understand you pulled for her and you took her up to a high level already, which we're going to talk about soon. I haven't pulled for her yet. I've got about 300 rubies, so not sure if I'll get her yet. Planning on doing some pipe pulls later in the week. And then we've got Pinja with another decent buff, and Silver Me. And then Bangkok Rush R, we've got Mario Sunshine, which is a fantastic buff after so long being away from ranked and from being away from from being used at all. And then we've got Daisy Tidress again, and then Gold Me, of course, there on those courses. Bangkok Rush T, we've got some, a lot of plus skills here. So we've got Daisy Holiday Cheer, Vacation Luigi, we've got Gold Me, and we've got Daisy Tidress as the level 6 unlock. And then Bangkok Rush RT, we've got Yoshi Gold Egg and Rosalina Chef, and I almost called her Me, and then Daisy Tidress again. So some really interesting courses. We're going to get into the plus skill buffs now, so we won't spend too much more time on that. Flo, did you want to take it away and talk about some of these plus skill buffs?
Yeah, first shout out and thank you to Larry98, because if you have watched the rundown, then you already know this type of images. And now I was also in contact with Larry because he offered us, hey, you're also doing some ACR videos. Wouldn't you need or want some images like that? And I say, yeah, sure. We probably have to adapt some things because we have some different rankings here. So I just sent him the list, and he was thankfully able to recreate those images for our rankings. So yes, the number that you can see on the top left corner is the actual number in our ticket time rankings. And yeah, this tour plus skill buffs, we have 14 drivers, 14 plus skill drivers that got buffed.
It's crazy.
The most incredible one is then, of course, Rosalina Schaff with 6 buffs, which were of course needed because she had only city tracks last tour, and now she has at least 5, which you can see assumed tracks right now. And even though all of them are Coinbox tech, if I remember correctly, there are some couple of nice ones because at least for my account, Cheap Island R would be nice because I have not the Blockhead Suits, and then Rosalina's Iceboat T is of course a level 8 unlock of Pink Gold Beach. So this will be a non-Coinbox course for most of us. And yeah, some nice buffs there, a couple of Bangkok Rush buffs, and then some other ones that might be interesting, in particular maybe the Kalimera Desert 2RT tracks, because there are a lot of coin boxes on the second shelf, so that's also a nice buff for Mario Samurai. There was already Yoshi Kangaroo on that track, but if you don't have him, like me, for example, then Mario Samurai would be a nice buff there.
Yeah, man, some really interesting stuff. I wonder what it means for Rosalina Schaff's value going forward. I would really be interested to see how many buffs she gets next tour, because it feels to me like they're making up for the last tour just by delaying almost her value for one tour, in terms of she's got the city value already. Now she's going to start getting the assumed value. I wonder though, is her buff's going to really drop off next tour, or will they continue? So could be a really powerful driver, but it's totally, again, it's still going to be speculation unless you see some value in here with these courses. Goldme still massive value in ranked, double feature in ranked. You know, we've got the Me Cup, we've got the Me Boost still so present, and huge multiple appearances, and we'll cover that off as we go through the hot list shortly. But massive tour for the Gold Me. Luigi Vacation, huge tour for Luigi Vacation this tour as well. He's looking fantastic with the 19 assumed tracks, same as Gold Me. Yoshi Gold Egg starting to look really strong with 17 assumed tracks. Mario Samurai looking better in terms of the numbers than most. I feel like he might have that Yoshi Kangaroo lasting value that just keeps getting buffed and buffed. We've got Rosalina Volanda with 15 assumed tracks, getting DS Luigi's Mansion T. I'm not sure if that was an exclusive. I don't know if you know, Flo, but certainly a good buff there.
I don't remember right now, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, and I think the Calamari Desert 2 RT is quite an interesting track, which shows up in quite a number of buffs there this tour, for Mario Samurai, Nabbit Me Racing Suit, and it's not on this list, but it is for Daisy, the new Daisy tie dress. She got it as well. It's also a Mario Tuxedo level 8 unlock, so quite an interesting course. Don't know how many people are going to be taking Mario Tuxedo to level 8, so it could be a really good course to get a high level driver on if you don't have Yoshi Kangaroo, as Flo mentioned. All right, ACR Projections. I'll let you talk about this, Flo. What were your thoughts? Tell us about your thoughts about the ACR Projections and where they fit for your strategy this tour.
Yeah, so it was really funny because I don't know who asked, but on the Friendly Fans server, we had some discussion, some early discussion about the ACR projections, what could be a top possible cutoff. And I just played around on the first day. Thought, okay, what could be possible investments? Because I already knew the courses and saw, okay, I have quite some nice loadouts there. and I played around what I can achieve, and I have a projection of 1.72, something like that. And I thought, okay, that should be probably something that I just need 90%, and then I should hopefully do top 100. So I just thought, okay, I think 1.55 should be something, something like that. And it was indeed exactly 1.55, at least in Rashid's first projection. And so, yeah, I know that I have to achieve 90%. So that's nice. That's definitely possible. That is, of course, way higher than, or not way higher, but a deciding few percentage points higher than I did in the previous tours. So yeah, 1.55 for top 100, 1.2 for top 1000. So that's of course a lot higher than the previous tour, but the previous tour was just full of city tours. So that's why there's this big jump.
You're going to have to be careful with those predictions on the projection. Otherwise, Rashid will be asking for you to fill in when he goes on holiday if Nadino's away as well.
No, I don't want to do this. I highly respect what you're doing, and that was just a random lucky guess, and I don't think that I can recreate that.
Yeah, man. Massive shout out to Rashid and Nadino for the projections that you guys bring. It's such an awesome value to the community. So thank you guys. Awesome, man. All right, and then we've got the plus skill distribution, and this is quite an interesting one. If we look at the ideal distribution, it's coin box galore this tour. It's absolutely insane. We've got gold meat everywhere. We've got new Daisy tie dress everywhere. We've got a lot of the OG coin boxes in there. You know, we've got some Peach Vacation. We've got some PGP. It's just absolutely insane. There is absolutely coin box everywhere. Yoshi Gold Egg is quite strong this tour as well. So 75% of the courses, if you had every coin box driver at a high level, you could be coin boxing on all of those tracks. You'll see from Flo and my plus skill distribution that I have a lot less coin box, and that's because I don't have Daisy tie dress right now. And I'm going in a different direction with my account at the moment. I don't plan on investing in her in this tour because I don't need to in terms of high level coverage. But what that does mean is that there are a few, I see the 3 giant banana courses there. I think a couple of those are yellow pit crew toad, which, and a couple of them, I think actually 1 and then 2 are Pinja. And Pinja's only at level 4. So that's a big hit for my scoring right now, which would need to be solved if I was going for a top 100 run. So Flo, why don't you tell us about what happened when you opened the app and you saw Daisy tie dress and that she had coin box, and then you looked at, you know, your coverage. How did you know that you were going to need to pull for her and level her up? Tell us about how that fits in here.
So of course, if you want to go for ACR top 1000, top 100 consistently, then you have to pull for coin boxes, because there's just still the chance that you have a track where there's no other plus skill, high level plus skill driver, and then you need it to be level up. So I think if a couple of drivers, a couple of players skipped Yoshi Goldek because he had not a good starting value for them. But nevertheless, you have to pull for him just in case he gets some unique tracks. And yeah, for Daisy Tigress, I saw that, of course, she has all the Bangkok Rush tracks, and this is very important if you go for ACR top 1000, top 100, because you can just level her up. You have 7 of the 36 tracks already covered, and those are the difficult top shelves because they are completely new. You couldn't plan on that on the previous tours, because if you know some other tracks like Wario Shipyard, you already know, okay, those drivers have these tracks. If you have these drivers, then you can at least level them up if they are in ranked or if they are in ACR. And of course, the surprise is then always the new track. And if I know that on the new track, I can have a new coin box driver leveled up to 6 double cap, or in my case, 7 triple cap, then you already have yeah, a huge advantage against most of the players that just casually grind for ACR and not for a particular ACR badge.
And the bonus is that makes you super strong and ranked too, right? Because I imagine
Exactly, yeah.
if you weren't going for top 100, you probably wouldn't be taking her straight to level 6 or 7. Are you taking level 7, I think?
To level 7, I wouldn't have done her, but I think to level 6, I would have, because I also, well, the level 6 unlock is the Luigi vacation track, so maybe I would even stick with boomboxing there. But yeah, I needed her on the Bangkok Rush and Bangkok Rush R because they had no other driver there, if I remember correctly. So I would have definitely needed her to level 4 to unlock the red coins, and probably even the level 6, because it's a coin boxer. Then you will pretty sure have some use out of her, because she also has Coconut Mall, for example, which is a nice buff for her. So yeah.
Yeah, man. One thing I wanted to say as we look at this is, and just to highlight Coinbox, I know in the community, in the meta, and in these episodes, we talk way too much about Coinbox, but the reality for ACR is that Coinbox isn't really an option, especially if you're going for like a top 100 or a top 10. It's a necessity, and what that means is that not just having the coin boxes and grinding it out, however which way you do, but actually you have to grind it in a very specific way, and you have to get the right sequence of events, and also you have to collect all the coins out of those coin boxes, and there's a lot of technique to that. So what I'm actually learning, and what I wanted to say here, is I'm learning. I know it looks like I don't have that much coin bucks, but still half of the tracks are coin box tracks this tour, and so I'm actually practicing my coin boxing skill. And in an upcoming episode, we're going to talk more about what is coin boxing. How do you maximize the these plus skills and get the most value out of them? But so much of it is cart size and driver size. So the hitbox, the lines, holding on to coin boxes for the right moment. All of this is about trying to maximize your action count, and coin box requires a lot of attention throughout the entire race, and then a lot of resetting to get the right sequence of items as well. So we're going to talk about that in an upcoming episode, but I just wanted to highlight that for me, this is a really great tour to be practicing coin boxing and really getting above that 90% of scoring across every single course that has a coin box skilled driver on it. All right, Ben, we're going to move on to the tour. The tour drivers, tour hot list. So, did you want to just explain a little bit about what this tour hot list is, and then take us through the drivers?
Yeah, sure. So we have two things that are taken into account: the ACR appearances and the ranked appearances, and those are taken from the Antilevs and MKD bands spreadsheets. So we see here that we have, for example, Daisy Titress, the new driver, with 14 ACR appearances, because she has the spotlight boost, and of course she got all the tracks that are in this particular tour. So that's why she has a couple of ACR occurrences, and especially the new Bangkok Rush. So that's why a couple of them are counted twice, because Bangkok Rush appears in the first cup and then in the 5th cup or something like that. And then we also see a new record quintuple feature in ranked. So she has all the 4 Bangkok Rushes, and additionally the Sunset Wilds T. So this is clearly incredible. I just remember last week when I said, okay, the value of 20 is incredible for Rosalina Chef, and it's just already a huge jump to 24. Let's see what waits us the next episode. But yeah, this time I really think that this is really hard to beat. So let's see.
Oh, that's so funny.
And just to explain how this score of 24 is computed, so it's just the number of ACR occurrences plus twice the number of ranked occurrences. So ranked is effectively counted 3 times, because the rank courses, of course, also appear in ACR grinding.
Awesome, man. I find this is a really strong tour for a few different drivers. So just to highlight those, Luigi Vacation, really strong this tour. Silver Me, I know a lot of people are still probably a little bit dubious about investing in Silver Me, but I'd recommend looking at Silver Me's coverage. It's actually very strong, especially due to the Me boost. I know a lot of people, like now that I have this gold Me at level 8 and triple uncapped, it's everywhere. But the thing is, if I had that Silver Me, it would actually be pretty strong because of that me boost that goes on as well in the Me Cup as well. So Silver Me, have a look at that, and the Gold Me, of course. Painter Luigi, strong this tour. We've got Rosalina Chef, still looking really strong, which is really cool. After she had so much value last tour, so maybe you invested in her last tour, she will help you out this tour as well. Kangaroo, Yoshi, and then Charging Chuck, all very strong this tour. Moving on to the karts. In the first place, of course, we've got the Tuk Tuk kart with a total of 20, which is very strong for a kart as well. The Gold Zucchini, almost like a light version of the Tuk Tuk kart with 15. So everyone's going to have that. Don't know how many people will level that up. That would be interesting because you can only take it up to level 1 with pulling the pipe. So it's going to be a bit slow value, I would say, on that item. The Tropical Truck, which can only be unlocked in the second week pipe, unless you get really lucky with your non-spotlight cart this week, could be a really interesting item to get. If you get that as your free pipe this week or next week, could be a really interesting item to invest into the future because of that pipe not having a heck of a lot of value there. Yellow Off-Roader, really strong tour. What level is your Yellow Off-Roader at, Flo?
I don't even own it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
It wasn't packs, and of course I don't buy packs. So the only chance was to pull for it when it occurs at some point in the second week pipe, but I don't really know. Yeah. Yoshi Tour, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't go for it because I would have had the rubies, but there was also some interesting stuff coming up. So I decided to save some rubies there.
Yeah, man. Paintster's strong this tour. The Jukebox Buggy, White Bruiser, Combo Cruiser. The Sweet Rider's actually quite an interesting one to see in here strong this tour. And I just wanted to highlight that Sweet Ride might be following a similar value to Rosalina Chef. So she appeared very strongly last tour, as did the Sweet Ride, and then this tour, again, both of these two items are appearing well. So could be an interesting kart to keep your eye on. It's got a pretty big hitbox, so it could be a good one if it gets some great buffs in the future. And then also Tanuki karts in there as well. So some pretty good meta karts in there. And then we move on to the gliders. Polka Dot Manta with a score of 12, pretty strong in there. Not a glider a lot of people have invested into. I know I haven't. A lot of the other Mantas are quite valuable, but I'm not so sure on that one. Golden Wings, really strong this tour. Silver Surfmaster, really strong this tour. We've got the Gold Crane, the normal Manta Glider, Starry Great Sail is strong, and the Pink Gold Meteors. All sorts of items in there. I see the Wonderful Wings as well. Tell me, are you investing into the red and gold umbrella?
Not yet. So it has some quite nice value. I think it has 3 Bangkok Rush tracks, and then apart from that, mostly new courses, except of 2 Sunset Wilds, which are not that recent courses, but and in particular, if you invested into Drivers Umbrella, you have already 2 overlaps there. So that's why I won't invest in red and gold umbrella right now, but I pulled it because I just it took me 8 tenors until I reached the daily tie first. Yeah, I even collected the Tuk Tuk card and red gold umbrella on this way, so I can have a look on.
Complain, right? Yeah, stash it.
It's
see
okay.
if see if it has value in the future.
Yeah.
Awesome, Ryan. Why don't you take us through an overview of the ticket time algorithm and how it works?
Yeah, sure. So the short explanation. the ticket time algorithm answers the question, what if a specific item is leveled up to a higher level? So if you're familiar with the DKR sheet, then you know that there are some scores computed. And what the ticket time tool does is that it generates your best loadout for every single course and then levels up a specific item just to see how much the score will improve over all combined tracks. And this will, of course, affect city tracks as well as other Wii or DS tracks. And as you can see on the right side, there are some different weightings for the different courses. So the courses that appear more frequently in ACR, which are on the one hand, some courses like DS courses, Wii courses that return multiple times a year, unless there's a city tour that is full of cities like we have seen last tour, but usually city tracks just appear once and then you cannot even plan it. They come back. So that's why they are counted not at all in a couple of other tours. Ticket time takes at least a little bit into account. And then the other thing that is important, how recent courses are. So if there's a very recent course released in 2022, for example, then it usually also appears in a couple of tours after that. And that's why it also has a higher value for that course. And the scores are multiplied with that value. So yeah, it takes some other things into account, like, for example, the driver skill, of course, which increases the action count, so that also increases your score, of course. Then the kart and the driver hitbox is a little bit taken into account if you're not using a coin box, and then, of course, heavily taken into account if you use a coin box driver. And yeah, basically it adds that up, it creates the rankings, and we will see that ranking on the next slide.
Nice, man. And I just wanted to add a little bit in here because I think it's challenging to understand this sometimes. We've been overloaded with tier lists in this community over the last few years, right? And just wanted to really say that and to explain that ticket time, what it generates is not a traditional tier list in that we're saying this is the best item in the game necessarily. Rather, what it does is it essentially mathematically calculates the best upgrades, and it's designed to do it for your account. So what we're doing by showing you a tier list at the start here is really what might be the most interesting items for people to look at in general. And then more interestingly, what items for our accounts would be interesting. And in the future, we will release the tool. We're hoping to do that in the coming months. So that you can submit your own account and we can analyze your account and the best upgrades for your account as well. So as we go through the next list, take a look at the list at, what you're not invested in already, make a mental note and go check the coverage of that item, because ultimately what we're trying to identify is what are the courses that give the most weight and the most scoring potential for these items, and which items have those courses. The other thing I wanted to say is, as we go to the next page, the images are going to look slightly different than they did in the previous episodes. That's because I'm going to show the previous tour changes and ranking, and then the next tour ranking. So you want to look on the right-hand side as we go through. So first up, we've got the drivers, and you can see that this is the ACR upgrade rankings. So we assume that an item is level 3, and you can see that in the column here. Here we go, owned, and it's going from level 3 to level 6 and double capped. So that's the assumption that the tool is making. And then therefore this is the weighted score that it gives that item. And you can see that there actually hasn't been that much change from the Metro Tour through to the Bangkok Tour. Probably the most notable item is Mario Samurai jumping up there by 3 places and knocking down a few different items. So in our top 10, we've got the Gold Me, Meowser, Yoshi Kangaroo, Charging Chuck, Luigi Vacation, Shy Guy Ninja, Mario Samurai, King Bob-omb Gold, Mario Satellaview, and Kamek. Anything stand out to you, Flo? Anything that's of interest to you when you look at this?
Yeah, so maybe to explain why Mario Samurai is on that high place, because a lot of people really don't see the value in him, and this is of course correct for the inventory, because he just has that much coin box overlap, and this is not necessarily taken into account in this upgrade rankings. So of course, if you have other coin box drivers on those other courses, then the gain is a little bit smaller. But just because he has that many different new tracks, they are taken with a high value into account, because you will be able to use him a couple of times in every single ACR, because he has just that many new courses. If you would have him at a higher level than your coin boxes. So if you start a new account, I think he has really great value. If you are playing a little bit longer, then he might not have the value for you, because you have other drivers leveled up. So overlaps are taken into account, but not necessarily that much, like other tools do. And we will see that also in our tier list. I'm not sure if he will appear in yours. In mine, he does appear, because he has some really nice gaps that he would fill in for my account. But yeah, that's maybe some additional explanation for Mario Samurai. And also, as Matt mentioned, I tried to release the ticket time tour, hopefully next tour. Let's see if it pans out. And of course, I have to apologize that it's not possible this tour. But yeah, top 100 has my whole priority.
Yeah, that's your focus, man. And thank you for attending this episode, man. We really appreciate it. The other thing I would say, and that's interesting if we compare last tour to this tour, is if you look at the actual scoring, for example, of the Gold Me racing suit. Last tour, it was 1 million and then 85,000. And then this tour, you'll see it's 1,113,000. So you can see that the Gold Me is gaining value in terms of the ACR scoring weighting that it's bringing. So this is really the value to ticket time. It shows you the gain in the scoring potential. And you can see last tour what happened with Gold Me. It gained a whole bunch more scoring potential. If you compare that to Meowser, who hasn't appeared much last tour and hasn't appeared that much this tour, you can see that he actually decreased. And what that probably means is another item has taken some of the value there, or his value's decreased into, it's dropped off in terms of his appearance rate for his courses. We haven't had some of those Bowser's Castles back for ages, and it felt like for months there we were just constantly getting them, right? So these considerations, and ACR appearances is a really key thing to consider when it comes to what you're investing in. As we get into the karts, we can see that there was quite a large shake-up last tour, but this tour, not a heck of a lot of change there. Armored Rider, though, with a massive jump of 4 places up into the top 5, getting really interesting value and getting some really good buffs in the tour, but knocked Ramby Runner down 4 places. Poor Ramby Runner, still a massively valuable kart for ACR, depending on your inventory. I know certainly for me, it shows up as something that I should definitely be investing into. Yellow Off-Roader up 1 place, knocking Kamek Zoom Broom down 1. Black Cat Cruiser coming up into the top 15. Any ones that stand out to you here, Flo?
No, I think it's fine.
All right, and then we've got the gliders, and of interest, we had the Galaxy glider drop down a couple spots with the Silver Surfmaster and the Black Great Sail jump up a little bit. And then the record setter up 2 places and almost into the top 10 there. Quite an interesting glider. Gradual value, I would say. Certainly a lot of overlaps pretty early on with other items that people have already invested into. So a difficult one to get into. Might be of interest to relook at that again. So let's now jump into, Flo, your upgrade rankings. But before we do, did you want to tell us a little bit about what you've already done and take us through how that's changed up the rankings? So I'll switch to the next slide and you can talk us through what is happening here.
Yeah, so I think the drivers upgrade rankings are not even that spectacular in that sense, but we will see it in the cards for the cards one in a minute. So what I have done is, of course, some advancements to level 7 triple cap for different items. Of course, I already mentioned Daisy Tigress. She's brand new, so she doesn't have that much overlap yet with other items because she hasn't seen most of the tracks yet. But then I did some other upgrades, like for example, White Bruiser also to level 7 triple cap, and in particular, and this one is dedicated to you, Matt, the Golden Wings to level 7 triple cap. Yeah. So, and of course, since I invested in those items, it decreases at the same time the value of other items, and because it would not make sense to level those up anymore. And of course, if I heavily invest in one specific tour because I go for top 100, then it shakes up the rankings quite a bit. We can see it a little bit here, but I think those. So I think Kamek has maybe some overlap with other drivers, but in general, I think those changes are reasonable. But we will see some big jumps if you switch to the kart slide or to the kart rankings.
Yeah, man, I will. I just wanted to point out, I found this one quite interesting, and I highlighted a couple here. Daisy Holiday Cheer, you don't even own her, but she's actually 10th on the list. So it must be quite interesting what courses she have. It'd be interesting to see what skills of the drivers you have right now on those Daisy Holiday Cheer ones. And then similar for Mario Samurai. I mean, he's interesting again, but I mean, again, you don't have him, so it could be quite an interesting one in terms of the courses that I've got to take a look at those two in the future.
Yeah, maybe to quickly say the reasons, because then I think Daisy Holiday Cheer is mainly the reason Baby Park. She's I have a level 1 driver there, and if I would have a level 6 double cap Lucky 7 driver there, then it would be a really big jump. And Mario Samurai, I think, is ARMX Ghost Valley 1 RT, where I also have just a level 1 driver. So this would be a really big jump, and this is, of course, taken into account. If these tracks are covered by maybe other drivers, like, for example, Daisy Chidress, if she would get those tracks, then their value would definitely decrease, and they would drop a few.
That's what you're hoping will happen, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting what you're saying, right? Because even though sometimes you might think, oh, is it worth investing into a driver just to get coverage on 1 or 2 courses? And often the answer is actually no, because you can see here straight away that, you know, you've got 9 other drivers which are going to give you a higher payoff, even if you were to invest in them, for example, from level 6 and double cap to levels 7 and triple cap. That's going to give you more scoring potential. So, you know, it might be worth it over even getting coverage, and actually being okay with only having a level 1 driver sometimes is necessary for the long run of the game. Cool. Take us through your carts.
Yeah, and here you can see really some big jumps there, and the most prominent one is then probably the off-roader, which jumped from place 11 to level 10. So I will take him to level 7 this tour because it's just 2 tickets away, and I might also triple cap him. I don't know if I will have the tickets available. That depends on the token pipe, but yeah. And the reason why there's this big jump is because you see on the previous list, he was on place 11, and I considered the level up from 6 double cap to 7 triple cap. And now I'm planning an upgrade from 7, or I'm evaluating an upgrade from level 7 double cap to level 8 triple cap. And this is a difference because there is now the level 8 unlock taken into account, and the level 8 unlock would be Dino Jungle. I only have a supercard at level 4 on that track, so this would be a huge jump and a huge gain in score. So that's why there is I think that explains at least 2/3 of this difference between the 230k that it has right now and the 160k that it has before, because there's just the Dino Jungle, you have a coin box driver there, you have the bigger hitbox then in comparison to the I don't remember the Flame Flyer I think I use now. So that's a huge jump.
Ask if it was that one.
Yeah,
I think I've got the same card there.
Yeah, so this would be a very nice unlock, and could be, I don't have any high-end item to leveled up to level 8 yet, but this could be the first one to think about it.
It's such a great kart to drive. I love that thing.
Yeah, and one more thing that I should also note on that is, because you can also see some other items that increase in value, others that decrease in value. So that's the second big level up that I did is White Bruiser to level 7. Triple Cap was previously on on place 5, and now it doesn't even appear in the list because a further upgrade is not that important right now, because it doesn't have that many tracks. It will get some more tracks, so it will probably come back to that list at some point. But what also then happens is that other cards lose value because they have some overlap with the White Bruiser. I think, for example, Frosty Bells has also some winter themed tracks like White Bruiser has as well. So that's why this one falls some places down, and then there are other cards which has no overlap. So it is even more relevant to consider upgrades for them. So there's no change in the algorithm, it's just change in the event inventory, and this is why the list is changing that much.
Yeah, what I love is it illustrates how much even investing, because you invested in the White Bruiser. Was there any other card? Was that it?
Flower card I will probably take to 6, and depending if I will get the tickets, I will either triple cap off-roader or double cap flower card. So those are the big changes.
Yeah, and even so few changes shake up this ranking so much, because the items that you now need to look at change drastically, because the courses we're actually looking at behind those items has changed. So what I find interesting though is how strong Jukebox Buggy still is. Cupid's Arrow was number 6, now it's up to number 4, so it might be an interesting one because these ones that you don't have, so we talked about that in the last episode, and it's going to be interesting to look at their courses when they come back to see, is it worth pulling a pipe to get those items, because they are very, very strong. So the courses that you've got there might be still heaps of value, even though I know, for example, Cupid's Arrow overlaps with White Bruiser, on at least a Coconut Mall track, but that's now taken out of the equation. But but Cupid's Arrow still has enough value to still be an option for your account. So really interesting stuff, man. Let's move on to the gliders. Take us through what you've done and how that's shaped things up this tour as well.
Yeah, so basically in the gliders, it's not that interesting, but there's one clear winner, which are the Gold Wings. So I owned them the whole time, and that was just not, I was a little bit hesitant because every time they appear in ranked, I had some other option that I could use instead. So and it also has some overlaps, but it has no bad overlap. It has, I think, 2 with the Galaxy Glider and 2 with the Dry Browser Umbrella, something like that, which are my other 2 gliders at 7 triple cap, besides the 8-bit Super Mushroom. So those are the 3 others that I already had at 7 triple cap, and now the Golden Wings will be my 4th glider to join this 7-3 club. And that's of course it already had 37 tracks or 36 tracks, something like that, and it will of course be the best option on all of them. And you haven't seen that before. So if you look there on the left side on place 6, it would have helped me at level 6 double cap on 14 courses. Yes. And now, of course, because I leveled it even further, it helps me on even more courses. So that's why. And it, as we have seen in the hot list, it has also a couple of appearances, both in ACR and in ranked. So that's why I just decided to go with this level ups.
Yeah, man, it's when they have this many courses, it's just impossible to ignore it at a certain point, and you just have to level it up. But what I like is that, you know, it was sitting there as an option on your account for a long time, and then now is the tour where you needed it, and you know, it made sense, and so then you've leveled it up and taken it to a level which is going to give you value literally for like the next 2 years. You know, it's going to be
Yeah.
super valuable forever now. And I find I know that Dream Glider has quite a bit of overlap, so you can see that's dropped down 6 places, quite
Yeah.
substantially.
Yeah. Good
So
point.
you had that at 5 and double capped, and you were probably considering investing into that even more, but now it might give you a little bit of a pause to go, am I going to still invest in this item now that I've got the golden wings where there's so many overlaps? It's still got its own value, the Dream Glider, but maybe it makes less sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good point, and I think that's a pretty good example. So I will probably not invest in Dream Glider in the near future, because yeah, maybe it will collect a new track, but yeah, it has some nice value, but it just has yeah some overlap with Golden Wings, also the other drivers, the other gliders that I already have at a high level.
Yeah, maybe there's another item which would make sense to, which has a lot of overlaps with Dream Glider, which you're already investing into, which is going to make more sense paired with Golden Wings. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Let's move into my list. So this is going to be super boring, so we'll go through it really quickly. But basically, because I haven't invested into anything, nothing's really changed, which is quite interesting. So still my top drives to invest into, you know, King Bob on gold, taking him to 8 and triple cap. I think that will, I need to look at his level 8 unlock. Could be, I think it's a Bowser's Castle. I think, is it the Bowser's Castle R, maybe? I think that might be one that I don't have a high level item on. So it could be interesting there. Yoshi Kangaroo, still at level 6 and super strong in these rankings, which is, you know, Ticket Time is just saying, please, please take Yoshi Kangaroo higher. You know, you're using him on all these courses, and you're leaving scoring on the table. Question mark block me racing suit has appeared on the list in the 15th place. Will be really interesting to see where that goes to, and you'll see Rosalina Valendam in place 14. So some really interesting items in there. Luigi Vacation pretty strong in 11th place. It'll be interesting to think about, you know, what items in here would make the most sense, but it's hard to get away from those top 5 there in terms of what ones could be most valuable. Moving on to the karts. Again, really very little change here. I know the jukebox buggy is one that I need to invest further into. It makes a lot of sense being already at level 5 and single capped. It's got some great courses. And yeah, even taking it, I think, to 6 and double cap would probably make sense in the short term, and then level 7 gradually. Cupid's Arrow, though, has quite a bit of overlap, I think, with Jukebox, which is, yeah, these 3 that are highlighted do have quite a bit of overlap. So it's important to get the right combination of items there, which is why I haven't invested. I'm actually waiting for a tour where I need to take one of those to a high level to use it a lot for ACR. And then for my gliders, really not a heck of a lot of interest in this. I have very strong glider coverage at level 6 and double, and a lot of 7 double or triple cap. I think the one that's most interesting in here is the Pink Gold Meteors, which is in place 14, but it's only level 1, so could have some pretty unique courses there. But other than that, I'm really interested, and I'll talk a little bit in a moment about the Silver Surfmaster and the Golden Wings. One of these will probably take all of my cap tickets to triple cap. So I'm really trying to figure out, actually, should I triple cap one of these 2, or should I double cap? I think the cap parafoil, and I think there's another one which I'll talk about shortly. Here is an image which is just to give a different perspective on my account, which might be slightly more interesting. This is an analysis of my coverage. So what I've done here is I've used Antelev's sheet with the pivot table function, you know, that dynamic coverage tab that he's got on there. And I've filtered out all of my high level items. So 7 triple cap, 7 double cap, all of those ones are kind of removed. And then it's looking at the ones kind of below a certain score that that sheet gives. So these are the items that could be interesting from a coverage perspective to invest into, because I have lower level coverage on those courses. So you can see Satellaview, Charging Chuck, Black Yoshi, and Donkey Kong Jr. all I have at level 6, but they are only single capped. Really interesting. So definitely Satellaview and Charging Chuck, I'm looking at those two. Potentially going to double cap Charging Chuck this tour, so I can talk about that a little bit more shortly. And then for the carts, we've got Armored Rider, Cupid's Arrow, Cactar, and Jukebox Buggy. Quite interesting carts because they're give me some really good, stronger coverage if I was to level them up, and they are at a low level right now. So interestingly, if you look here, Jukebox isn't as strong as, say, the Armored Rider. So it depends if you look at the course appearance or if you look at the value of the actual how many upgrades they would give you. Hence why it's so important to make a decision on these items when you're going for ACR. Otherwise, you might be spending your tickets and you don't get the value back for them for another 6 months. Same for the gliders, not too much of interest there apart from the pink gold meteors. But I would say the cap aerofoil, and that's the other one, 8-bit star, they're both level 6, but only single capped. So could be interesting to double cap one of those two. Okay, so time to talk about your ACR game plan, Flo. So you're going for top 100. We've already talked a little bit about some of the upgrades you make, but take me through like how you looked at your scoring and how did you mess around and what did you play with and what worked and what didn't when it came to potential upgrades?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to mention is that already last week when, even the week before, when there was the trailer of the new tour, I already told Matt, oh, that might be interesting. There are some couple of nice courses that might give me a shot to go for top 100, because I already knew that I have some nice coverage on them, and also some nice coverage in comparison to other players. If you're going to for ACR top 100 or also top 1000 or top 10, you have to compare with other players. And if there's a coin box track, then probably also most other people have a really good coin boxer there. But if it's, for example, a brand new coin boxer like Daisy Titress, not everyone will have the possibility to level her up to level 7 triple cap. Maybe some are even have an advantage in comparison to me because they have a level 8, but I think the percentage of players who do so is very small. So you have to get some advantage in comparison to other players. So if you have some items that you have at a high level, but other people don't. For example, I don't think that many people have a combo cruiser at level 7 triple cap or warrior wagon level 7 triple cap, which I have. So if those are appearing in ACR, those are particularly interesting. And in this tour, there are different factors. There are, for example, the Warrior Shipyard and the cheap island tracks, and both are completely covered with the combo cruiser. So this is definitely one of the factors why I decided, okay, this is the tour to go. Then there are, of course, some other tracks where I have the Galaxy Glider a couple of times, the 8-bit Mushroom a couple of times, the Silver King. So all these items that I have at level 7 triple cap. And already in the beginning, before I planned any upgrades, I had an average load of rank of 6.1 in all 3 categories: drivers, karts, and gliders. And I already had some tickets available because this is, of course, necessary. You won't have a perfect loadout on all tracks, in particular on the new ones. So you need some tickets to fill these gaps. And I had roughly 15 of every type, both the level tickets and the uncapped tickets. Of course, talking about the high-end tickets right now, because the others, as you can see, they fill some gaps. So there are a couple of the Soda Jet, the Parafoil, yeah, so some items of supers and normals where you can just throw the tickets on because you usually don't need them anyway. But it's important to have some high-end ticket saves up, and then you can either invest into the new items set, which in this case would be Daisy Tigress, and then also the tuk-tuk card and the red and gold umbrella. And the latter two I did not level up because I just have good coverage on the new Bangkok Rush tracks anyway, at least for the gliders, because I could level up the Golden Wings. They have 4 appearances just because of Bangkok Rush, and then some others as well. And then on the card side, there's the Warrior Wagon and the White Cruiser that take 2 of the courses. And then, of course, you also see that I have some gaps. Bangkok Rush T, I have only the Sweet Ride at level 1. Warrior Shipwreck, I still don't have a glider that is higher than level 1. So those are the gaps, but you can't avoid it to 100%. And in general, the average, as you can see, it's now increased up to 6.6 for all the 3 categories. So yeah, that's definitely possible to achieve top 100 with that. And now let's see if I'm also the person that is able to achieve it with that account.
It, man. We believe in you. That's awesome, man. And what I love about this is you've got a Gold Pass account. So to see those loadouts must blow your mind, man, because that's fantastic. Like that's absolutely, like, look at all those 7s and 8s across the board there. That's absolutely amazing. And that is a testament to investing in the right items and you know, focusing on the long term, and then waiting and biding your time for the right tour, as well as saving resources. So then you can take the right new items or golden wings up to the level that's needed in order to make the run. So yeah, good luck to you, man. It's a fantastic game plan, and thanks for breaking it down. It's really quite interesting. So I actually did something very similar, slightly different, but again, looking at what are the items, you know, where I'd land. And I think before, I'm just going to move to the next slide here. This is before I invested into anything, the estimate was about 1.62 million. So that's with no investments made at all. And so then what I started to look at is what are the items that are appearing the most in ACR this tour. So you can see, for example, in the glider column that Silver Surfmaster is absolutely insane. The amount of appearances this tour, I think it's about 10 or so, is huge for my account. And it's already at level, for me, it's level 7 and double capped. So then the idea of putting it to level 8 and triple capping it, completely maxing it out, which most people don't have that luxury, but for me, that could deliver a huge amount more scoring potential. So what I did is I looked at what are the items that are appearing the most, which could give me the best scoring increase, and then I played around with a few of those items, just emulating that to see what was possible by looking at what resources I have in terms of tickets, and then what could the scoring difference be. So you can see all the items I've highlighted here are ones that I have to look at. So I've pre-filled the sheet, but then I'm going through track by track and looking at what are my different options of what I can do here. Also, the orange ones in the left-hand one are the ones that Daisy Tigress has. So I was also comparing to what I have. So you can see here, Pink Shy Guy Ninja. I currently only have them at level 4 and single capped. So compared to, you know, if I took her up, got the new Daisy and took her up to a high level, then that could replace Pink Shy Guy Ninja. So what I'm going to show you on this next sheet is a very simple table, or, you know, plan that I came up with of what I could do and how that would shift things up. So like I said, the estimate before any upgrades was 1.62 million. Then I came up with 2 different options. We've got upgrade option 1 and then upgrade option 2. For option 1, the estimate I came up with was 1.7 million, and then for the upgrade option 2 is 1.71 million. So they're very close. Slight advantage to upgrade option 2. However, I was actually leaning toward the first option for a couple reasons. So let's just go through the different upgrades that I theoretically could make. So firstly, Silver Surfmaster, as we discussed, I could take it triple cap it in level 8. And to do that, I'd need 10 high-end cap tickets and 8 high-end level tickets. The green highlighting mean I have that resource. So I can do it. I have the item. And that's, by the way, when I say I have that resource, that includes buying every item out of the token shop, spending every coin I've got, pulling every pipe, winning ranked. Like, you got to make sure you absolutely use every resource. I'm going into the tour gifts and counting exactly how many tickets and into the total score. And I'm sure, Flo, you're doing exactly the same thing, right? You've got to
Yeah,
count every single resource.
I forgot to do so, but I mentioned it before. So I was really going through everything, see what I can collect it, even take into account the tier shop high-end cap ticket into account, which type it is, because it is a glider cap. If I'm not lucky to collect it from the token pipe, I really pray that it will
spend the 20K.
But otherwise, I have to spend the 20K, which is a lot, but at least I have the coins available. So all of this is taken into account, and let's see if the token pipe blesses me and gives me some
hope
additional.
you get lucky, man.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So just quickly going through, so you can see combo cruiser, triple cap, and level 8. So again, I have the 10 high-end cap tickets and the 8 high-end level tickets. After collecting everything in the tour, I will have those there. Purple Cooper, so a super, as Flo mentioned, I think the purpose of a super as an ACR, going after ACR, is to fill gaps. So you want to save all your super tickets from drivers, karts, and gliders, and then when the ACR run comes up, you're going to need as many as possible. It's 16 just to get a super to level 8. So maybe you can only take them to level 6 or level 7, but having an absolutely maxed item or as high level as you can on that course could be the difference between being able to make the run and not. So you want to make sure you're saving those super resources to fill gaps. And that's exactly what Purple Cooper would be here. I'm going to spend all of my super level tickets, or 8 of them, purely for one course, right? So it's not a long-term investment. It's more about making this happen to do a top 100 run. And also triple capping them as well. Charging Chuck would be double cap, which would be 5 high-end cap tickets, and then level 7, which is 2 high-end level tickets. I have definitely a luxury here in that I've already got them halfway to level 7. So it's just, I've got those options because of a lot of the resources that have been spent on this count in the past. Pink Shy Guy, double cap him. I would need to place well in ranked week 1 to be able to do that. So there's a contingency there that I wouldn't be able to double cap Pink Shy Guy Ninja if I didn't do that. Take him to level 5, and then Pink Gold Peach to level 8. This is an interesting one. Again, I have that luxury because she's only 3 tickets away from level 8. And the reason I would do this is because Rosalina's Ice World, I think it's the T version, has her, thanks man, has her as the level 8 unlock. And if I don't have her, I'm stuck with Dry Bowser Gold, level 6, and single capped. So it's a bob-omb cannon. It's only level 6. It's not double capped. It's going to hurt my score a little bit compared to Coinbox, especially if it's a level 8 triple capped Coinboxer like PGP would be. So that's the scoring that I got there. Comparing to the second option, the difficulty was that if I was to pull for Daisy Tai, firstly, I don't have 450 rubies. So there's a huge risk there that I don't get her. At the end of the day, if I did that, I could still go with option 1. But the real issue here is I'm actually short by 2 high-end level tickets for Daisy Tai dress. So, if it was 1, maybe I could get lucky on the token shop pipe. Maybe in week 2 of the tier shop, I will get a driver level ticket. And well, I will, and I will be able to buy it. But 2 is a big risk. It would have to be an extra driver ticket in that tier 2 week 2 tier shop, and I would have to have 24,000 coins to purchase that. So it's a big what if, and so actually for an extra 17,000 points it might not be the right option to go with. So there you go. There's basically how I've kind of worked out my scoring and things like that. In the end, what I've done so far, and you can see this here, is I've highlighted all the items which need to be upgraded. I actually haven't made a decision if I'm going to do this top 100 run or not. I think probably the answer is no, because if you'll see here the 90% estimate, is 1.533. And as we saw before, it's 1.55. It seems like a small thing, but actually an extra 20,000 points is a lot to make up. If you are, so I would need to maybe score 91, 92% action scoring, result, which is very difficult. It is going to make it a very tough grind. So I think probably I won't go with this option, and I'll probably wait for the right tour to go for top 100. However, what I have been doing is testing myself to see, can I get the maximum amount of gain on a course without upgrading anything so far. So you'll see I've only been racing the ones which don't need any upgrades. And you can see the one I'm probably most proud of so far is this one here, SNES Choco Island 1R, where I've got, only 1,000 points left in the course, right? I've got one with only 3,000 here, and then one with 4,000. There has to be the case. You have to be able to grind to that level to be able to make a top 100 run. So I'm actually training myself to get the maximum score I possibly can, and seeing how much time that takes me to do that, rather than, going all in and getting super disappointed. So yeah, I think that's wise. I think it's really important to make sure you've got the time, and closer to the second week, I'm going to know if I'm going to have more time to make that happen. But I think probably it's going to be, sit it out and wait and bide my time and save my resources. Flo, what are your thoughts on that? Any thing you would add?
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult one. So the good thing is that your account is in average stronger than mine. So you will have the possibility to do the top 100 run in any other tours. So for example, if you would have gone last tour, if you would have had the time, and then you definitely would have done it, and it would have been easier than this tour. So it's not running away. So for me, it's really at some point then my good items like Combo Cruiser, they just decrease in value because they are getting a little bit older and no new buffs. So for me, it was important to get some of the next, let's say, 5 to 10 tours. Then afterwards, I really need to start from a little bit scratch, because the items are not that relevant for ACR right now. For your inventory, you have, for example, Gold Me at level 8. You have most of the coin boxes at a very high level. So if you're not able to do it in this tour, then there will for sure be another tour where you still have then the options and tickets, and maybe even more high-end high-end driver level tickets to directly invest into a new appearing driver.
Yeah, I think what hurts me the most this tour is just I've only had 2 tours where I've actually been saving resources, and that's not very long. But actually, if you save all your resources for, say, 4 tours in a row, you're going to have so many options, So I think if it's not next tour, maybe the next tour, I think I'd easily be able to make that run if the right items appear. And that's because of, really that self-discipline of actually saving your resources and not, I'm tempted this tour, there's temptation everywhere, Pink Shy Guy Ninja, it would be so easy to just smear my resources. But the reality is the best thing I can do is actually to wait and save, and even allow ranked to suffer a little bit to make that run at top 100 sometime in the near future. So appreciate your input, man.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're going to finish it up, guys. Thank you for so much for coming along with us. It's been well over an hour now. Really excited for Flo for his run at top 100. Massive good luck to you, and thank you for prioritizing this episode. I hope I'll try to not disturb you at all for the rest of I promise, for the rest of the 2 weeks. I'll leave you alone. You can go and do your top 100 run and smash out that. So put your phone on do not disturb or something. But thank you, man. And we wanted to shout out Larry98 for the images that we used today. Sam78IT for a lot of the data mining in the community. DKR for the spreadsheet, the ACR spreadsheet. Heriosity and ACR Bot Dev Jimmy for the new ACR bot and what's been happening in that space. Antelev, Bam, Gerbs, and Reichenbacher and MKD Ben for their spreadsheets, which we used throughout the video as well. And we want to give you a recommendation of resources to go and look at. So check out BGR, make sure you're looking at your coverage and looking at those items. Ticket time will be on this list in a couple tours time, but Flo's got more important things to do right now. The rundown, which is already out for the Bangkok tour, go check it out. Some really great discussion happening over there with StudFit's channel. Frenzy fans, massive shout out to the Frenzy fans community for the ACR discussion that goes on in the server. We had a great discussion actually around value of items in the OG server as well this tour. So it's massive shout out to you guys over in OG as well. And of course, there's some great resources on StudFit's channel for ACR too. Flo, what do you want to say goodbye and good luck, of course?
Yeah, thanks again. So I'm really looking forward to also share the results, whatever happens. And because I also planned, maybe I say how many tickets I spent, but I think it will be more interesting to see it in the next episode, where I just know every specific item, how I leveled it up, and how many items tickets I used, something like that. So I'm really looking forward to discuss this in the next week and in 2 weeks, and yeah, hopefully with a positive result. Let's see.
Yeah, man. Good luck. Hey, just remember, it's just a game, but at the same time,
Sure.
go hard. Hey, thanks guys for watching. Really appreciate the support on the channel. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. It really means the channel. We can do a lot more on the channel here. But we love doing this. We love ACR, and we love this community. So get involved, like and subscribe to the content. Yeah, look forward to more. I've got some pipe pool videos coming out in the coming week, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next tour. See you later.
See you.